Okay, this is the one I've been waiting for. When I first smelled Deified, not too long ago, my head went into such a space. I hope I'm going to be able to talk about it here because I like dark things. I'm not entirely goth. I mean, I probably don't look it, but I align with the darkly inclined. And when I smelled Deified, immediately I said, this is my jam. I associate fragrances with like vibes and people. And the only other dark fragrance that I have that I consider dark is Al Noor by Arabia Prestige, which is in its space and inspo of Gris Charnel Extrait. Now imagine when I say dark and I think of Gris Charnel Extrait and Al Noor, I think of the Phantom of the Opera. You know, that person. What would they smell like? Very brooding, very mysterious, not very chipper, very like sullen and a little angry, but very fierce, but dark. So that's a dark fragrance. When I smelled Deified, I immediately thought of Dracula. And I have Deified sample. See, this is dark, but the rose in Deified, picture Dracula. It's dark, it's mysterious, there's a sweetness to it, but there's the leather and the rose. If Dracula was alluring and come hither type, that's what I get with this. Like, he is dark, but he's alluring and mysterious, and you just want to look into his eyes. So when I saw this, I thought French Avenue, veered off a little bit, because Vulcan Fou is an inspiration of God of Fire. Vulcan Sable is an inspiration of Sandance. I thought this would be like Vulcan Noir. It should be Vulcan Noir, but it's not inspired by that line, but they call this Black Friday. Don't know why, but regardless, it's really nice. I did not like Vulcan Fou, but I like Vulcan Sable a lot, and I have that, and this is going to kind of complete it. So here's the box for Vulcan Black Friday. Bottle. I just love the design. If this is in any way close to Deified, I'll be so pleased, because Deified is just, as good as it is, it's just way too expensive. Sprayer. If you've watched my stuff, you know I don't believe in one-to-ones. In the opening, you get that leather, saffron. I think there's an apple in here. I don't get so much apple. Or if it's an apple, it's like a metallic apple. So that's where the fruitiness comes from, the apple. But the saffron. So Deified comes off sweeter, more prominent in the fruit, whereas the Vulcan, it's what's the word, dirty. The leather really comes out. They're not one-to-one, as expected. They share the same space. Vulcan is more rugged. I think it's really prominent on the smokiness, the leather. I'm not getting as much of the rose, but there is a flower, there's a floral accord there. So take that description of Dracula that I said with Deified, and You probably picture in your head him wearing a cloak or something of like a classical nature. But now imagine Dracula with, the same pale face, red eyes, a little bit of a smirk, long black hair, Victorian outfit, little cane, but instead of a cloak, Victorian cloak, he's got on like a leather trench coat. Same, and there's like a little rose on the lapel. Like, they're very close. I'm not gonna lie to you. The French Avenue is not as rich in terms of ingredients and the way the fragrance blends together. I'm gonna have to give this some time. Like, as a scent on its own, this is definitely dark. The leather and the inkiness really push forward more so than the sweetness. And you get the saffron more than the rose or any florals. Maybe we'll see. So, get back to you in a couple weeks.
So here we are 2 weeks later, and I'm giving you my final review of French Avenue's Vulcan Black Friday. On this hand, I have Deified by Xerjoff, and I have Black Friday on this one. I gave this a solid 2 weeks to do its thing, to work on it. What I can tell you right now is that no, they're not one-to-one. Deified opens richer, more sweeter. Black Friday, you get, the saffron is just really strong. You don't get much of the apple or the cinnamon. Black Friday opens up darker from the get-go. However, as it dries down, they do start to get a little bit more similar. So if I was gonna tell you if you wanted to buy Black Friday, I would say go see if you can get a sniff of Xerjoff's Deified. But otherwise, my initial statement is kind of valid in terms of what I get with this. It is a very dark fragrance, but not dark as in mysterious. Like Deified, they share this, it's dark and seductive. I said earlier, is like, think of Dracula. This is, look, it's like red eyes, everything. Think of Dracula with a leather jacket instead of a cloak. So that's the idea, like a little smirk with a little rose. The rose is slightly there, it's more prominent in the Deified, but here you get a little bit of the rose, but this is very strong. It's saffron and black leather. Think of black leather. Dark fragrance, but seductive. It does have that come hither type of scent, whereas there's a couple of other dark fragrances that I mentioned, like Al Noir or Gris Charnel Lectre, they're more dark and mysterious. It's like very just cold look. This is a dark and kind of seductive, pull you in type of fragrance. The modern day equivalent would be, because we're not talking about Dracula, the kind of person I see this would be just a guy, long hair, dark leather jacket, walking on the street, just a little beard, just he has a bit of that dark vibe to him, but still very pulling and alluring. So yeah, very dark. Scent profile, it's not Deified, but that's fine because they're close enough. Deified being however it costs, it's very expensive. So this would do the trick in terms of getting me that vibe. That what I'm looking for is that dark vibe. So grade wise, I give it an A. It's a good scent, but that's for my tastes. I'm more darkly inclined. So for my taste, and no, this is not a safe blind buy. I do not recommend you don't blind buy anything. I don't think rarely everything is a safe blind buy, but this is definitely not something you want to safely blind buy. It's not a safe blind buy at all. Scent wise, for me, A. If you like dark, seductive dark, alluring dark, this would be like a perfect goth fragrance. I do say it's a little bit more, it's more masculine, very masculine leaning. But you could wear whatever you want, but I would say this is more masculine leaning. Performance was actually good for New York City winter weather. I was able to smell it. After applying it 7 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, I was actually still able to kind of smell like air. But it started to die down. But it did last pretty much the whole day. It's a solid performer, not a beast mode. It's not going to scream off of your body, but it's definitely not a skin scent. So I give performance an A as well. So overall rating, this is an A. This is an A. It's a good fragrance. It sits on top of one of my top winter fragrances. Again, look at the bottle. Like, that's how I would describe, or go back to that Dracula analogy. I don't know why they called it Black Friday. They could have just called it, Noir, maybe, to go in line with the Vulcan Few and the Vulcan Sable, Vulcan Noir, because this is a noir vibe. This is very noir. But I like it. I would recommend it, but not blind buy. Do not. I think I've seen some people on the reviews shitting on this because they had never smelled anything like this before. You have to know what you're getting into here. I like it. I think it's a good fragrance for the right individual. But if you have this, you've tried it and you kind of disagree, or you have a different thoughts, let me know in the comments. But thank you for watching this unraveling, and I look forward to providing you with many more unravelings to come. Thank you.